What is statistically better for your bank account? Holding ILV and gaining revenue distribution, or playing the Illuvium game survival mode and grinding that out every single day until you can afford a house deposit? What is going to be the best for you, and what factors determine this? We're going to jump into all that today in part 2 of this video, and you guys are not going to believe the sorts of ways the number of players can affect this information. Now, welcome back. I am Scoriox, as you all know, where I do the maths and you do that sweet degen. And as always, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, and please always do your own research. This is going to be an awesome one. Get into it. Okay, so I'm really quickly going to recap the video from yesterday, okay? So I have 6 different types of players, and that's how I'm calculating the amount of money you can make through revenue distribution. Just quickly again, if you guys want to chat and talk to me about this sort of stuff and want me to input certain numbers and send it to you and things, you can join the Shiny Shards Discord, which is down in the description below. And please also like and subscribe. I really appreciate it, and I'd love to see you guys all there. Now, the more you like and subscribe, the more people see this content and jump into Illuvium, and you'll see how that impacts the numbers in a short while. So please don't forget. All right, so I've got 6 types of players, and I'm going to run through them really quickly for those of you that didn't watch yesterday's video, because this one might be more clickbaity, but we'll see. So you've got scholars, free-to-play grinders, the weekenders, your gamers, collectors, and competitive players. And now they all seem pretty self-explanatory. If we jump into this doc here and I move away my screen, you've got your scholars, which don't ever really spend, but the managers spend once per scholar. You've got your yearly players, your free-to-play grinders, which aren't spending anything at all, and they're just grinding really hard. Weekenders are $30 monthly, gamers $30 weekly. Which I think is probably the most common, and you can see here that about 33% of them are the weekenders. And you've got the gamers. So those are the gamers, sorry. And you've got the collectors, which spend $30 daily, and your competitive players, which we all know what that sort of person is. Everyone has one of those players in their life. And I've seen a lot of these statistics, and there's a lot of money spent on things like Clash of Clans. It's crazy. It is insane. So yeah, so just quickly those percentages again: 8% scholars, 20% free-to-play grinders, 30% weekenders, 33 gamers, 7 and 2 collectors and competitive. All right, I got that all out of the way. If that didn't make sense, my other video is up right there or something, and you can check it out. It runs through all of this in great detail, and it explains how these are really conservative, yet potentially realistic figures of how everyone is going to be impacted by revenue distribution. All right, so what I'm going to focus on when talking about the Illuvium game and how much you can earn from it is the survival mode in this case, because everything else is a bit arbitrary, and I'm working on figures for them as well, but I'll have to cover them at another time. There's just too much information. I would have to make like a 3-hour video. It would be exhausting. No one would love it. Let's keep it short and sweet so that you can get the information you need quickly. All right. So in this case, I'm looking at 200,000 players. Just quickly again, Grant said that 100,000 signed up for the private beta in a day, a single day. So believe me, 200,000 as a starting point is perfect. Let's go with that and run with it. 500,000 their newsletter too. So believe me, this game, if anything in the crypto gaming space is going to blow up, I truly believe it is Illuvium, not financial advice. All right. So at 200,000 players, you earn about $100 every year per ILV token. Scoriox, that's not much. I shouldn't hold ILV. How much do you earn in game? Now, with these current figures, from in game, I see you earning about $500 in that same year, okay? If you're one of the players that did not invest very much money. Now, when I'm looking at these investments, I'm looking very closely and a direct correlation between how much money you put in and how much money survival mode is rewarding you with. So if you put in $200 and someone else puts in $1,000 to build a team of a certain strength, and I've got a video and it's right up there that describes the earning mechanics of the survival mode. I'll explain it a little bit, but the earning mechanics of it and how the amount you invest can impact the amount you take away from it as well. With a better team, you last longer and therefore earn more. Now, with these figures, if you invested maybe $200, you'd earn 5 times less than $1,000 invested, but you'd earn about $500 in a year. So significantly more than holding one ILV token. All right, just one more time, you would earn a lot more playing the game than holding one ILV at 200,000 players. That is extremely important, and I'll show you some charts that explain that detail more carefully. But firstly, I need to explain the tokenomics of the survival mode gameplay loop. Now, Aaron has stated in an interview that the current plan is to distribute ILV rewards in a similar way to staking yield. This means that they currently have 1.5 million in in-game rewards. It probably won't be that entire thing, but for the sake of this, I've divided that by 3. So if you have 500,000 ILV distributed as rewards in the first year, that would essentially just get split up among players. All right, 500,000 tokens goes to however many players are playing the game for that first year. That is pretty much all the information we have, but it does show us some really interesting things. Now, let's look really, so when I'm doing these statistics, the price of ILV is extremely important here. I'm using these statistics in terms of its current ILV price, but if this increases or decreases, it messes it up a little bit. So instead, I'm looking at the return on investment overall. So if you bought an ILV token right now and you left it like that, these figures are highly accurate in terms of the inverse correlation these two things have. So if you bought a token at $500 and you're earning $100, that's about a 17% return on investment. So that's where I'm looking at, and here we go. You ready for this crazy chart? Just hide my screen for there. You've got the ROI comparison between revenue distribution and in-game yield. Let's see if this zooms in too much. Yep, way too much. So in-game yield starts off at 200,000 players. You know what? I'm actually going to change the amount of players. And this is why I love making these charts for my videos, because I can change it to 100,000 players and it updates everything for me automatically. When you've built it correctly, that is. And that is my favorite part of using this sort of software. Just so you guys know. But yeah, so I'll bring my screen back now. Okay, so let's look at this chart, and this is going to cover off the rest of the video. So when you have 100,000 players, your 500,000 tokens is being split among them, let's assume relatively evenly. Obviously, because the ROI doesn't actually change. If you consider the initial investment and the final investment as completely correlated to the rewards you receive, then the ROI is identical. You make more money, but in comparison to how much you invested, it's identical. So invest $100, receive $500. 1,000, receive 5,000. 5,000, receive 25,000. Yes, because it's 5 times the amount you're getting out in the case of this chart here. Well, it's closer to 6 times. But you get what I'm saying. The ROI doesn't change, which is why this is quite interesting to look at. So you can see that revenue distribution is down here at about 9-10%, and your in-game rewards is closer to 500%. But you'll notice that they cross here, and this doesn't matter how many players you put in, they always cross, based on the figures I've input here, they always cross at about just under 1 million players. Okay, so this begs that question, should you play the game or should you buy the token? At just under 1 million players, the token, in theory, okay, this is relatively speculative, but I'm quite confident a lot of these figures based on standard statistics and analytics also based on what has been said in interviews. This could all change, and there are also 5 or 6 other ways to earn money. So this is by no stretch saying what you should do. There are lots of other ways to earn, and I'll cover them all. So please do not forget to subscribe, because you're gonna wanna see the best way to put your money to use in the Illuvium ecosystem down the road. And I'm gonna be the one that will really help guide that decision. I'm not gonna tell you what to do. I'm gonna help guide your information and research into this game. So at about just under 1 million players, 800,000 players, you can see it right down here. Sorry, I've got this new Zoom tool and I'm just testing it out. It's so cool. And a lot of people in the comments suggested it. If you like that I'm using it now, please leave a comment down below telling me so. I appreciate the feedback. Or if you think it could zoom in less, let me know. I have no idea. At 800,000 players, it seems like revenue distribution takes over. And as you can see, it flies up like really quickly. If we hit 10 million players, apparently we're all going to be millionaires and driving Lambos and everything. Like, it's going to be crazy. And I think we can hit 10 million pretty easily. But for some perspective, Axie Infinity at its height, and it's opened the floodgates. I don't think we're going to like ramp up. I think people see play to earn gaming very differently now. If you hit about 2 million, you're definitely going to want to be holding ILV. Personally, my personal strategy would be to have exposure to as many different types of earning methods as you can, whether that be playing the game and holding a little bit of ILV. Maybe the ILV revenue distribution, if you can claim an SILV, facilitates you playing the game with that money. Then you're spending nothing on the game, you're collecting your alluvials, and so on. So definitely have exposure to as many things as possible, and definitely consider that the amount of players dictates not only revenue distribution, but in-game rewards. How many, it will dictate the marketplace as well, because it's all supply and demand. So if supply stays really small because there aren't many players catching alluvials, and demand continues to increase, then those alluvials will stay extremely valuable. But as there become 12, 15 million players on the platform, depending on how all the economics work out, how many ways there are to earn, those alluvials could see a significant decrease in value on the market. I'm not saying they're going to go below your gameplay loop costs, but they might. So you want to be exposed to as many facets of this economy as you can, and also diversified into other projects. I don't discuss that a lot, but it's important for everyone to be fully across that. I'm almost all in on Illuvium because I believe so heavily in it. But if you don't think it's going places, be very careful. No one is safe from anything in crypto. All right, I hope you guys had a good day, and I hope you enjoyed this breakdown of where ILV might be best spent. And please like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the bell so you don't miss any more videos. Have a good one, guys. Hey everyone, thanks for watching the video. I hope that you'll watch that next video up in the top right hand corner, or don't, but I really do appreciate it. Please like and subscribe down below, and I'll catch you all in the next one.